All right, peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, shalom. Thank you for taking the time out to join me this morning as we are on our ride. This morning, I want to talk about the quote-unquote civil war that's taking place in America right now, and what is our view of it. What do we see coming from it? Where is the black man and woman? What is our place in this upcoming or in this civil war? And you have to remember that in war, there's different phases of it. Some phase of it is the propaganda. Some phase of it is proxy fighting proxy. Some phase of it gets to the direct confrontation verbally, then the direct confrontation physically. So there's different stages of war. And right now we're in war, or America, let me say this correctly, America is in a civil war. Democrats, Republicans versus MAGA versus Donald Trump's crew. Now, mind you, at the end of the day, when it concerns us, their feeling is mutual. They're not on disagreement. Their disagreement is how things are going to be run. Who's going to be in charge? What is the status quo going to be? Because the MAGA group, they say that they're tired of having to be politically correct about what they say, what they think, what they feel, what they want to do. They want true freedom of speech, regardless of the consequence. The others, they want limited freedoms. You got freedom of speech, but not freedom of speech to say A, B, C, D, or E. So they want to limit the quote-unquote rights and authority that you have. They say that the MAGA is throwing a war, is fighting and trying to hurt the FBI by calling out the FBI and saying they're this and they're terrorists and they're this and everything. They're attacking our police. Now, mind you, when you and I say that the police are corrupt, there's no justice in the justice system, oh, our words don't mean nothing. It's just them niggas and their rhetoric. But when other white folk begin to say the same things that we've been saying, now it's a problem. And I don't want us to get caught up in that foolishness, because it's not our fight. Satan casting out Satan, how can his world stand? So that ain't our fight. You sit back and you listen, you watch, but you don't get in it. You let them two tear each other to shreds. And whichever one wins, then they're coming for us. But we'll be ready for them, because they won't be strong. They will be weak from the fighting that they already just went through. So they'll be weak. while we're strong. You got to understand when L. Ron Hubbard with Scientology and the federal government was investigating him and that organization. Now, L. Ron didn't sit back and say, oh, it's cool, do what you got to do. L. Ron understood something, and he said, okay, they coming for me, we coming for you. He told his people, go join the FBI, go join the Treasury Department. Join these organizations that are investigating us. Get hired for them. And they went out and they did this and got hired and was taking information and feeding it back. Taking information and feeding it back. So L. Ron knew the moves that they were going to make before they made it, because he sent his spies among them. See, whenever you're at war, the enemy always sends their spies to be around you. Always. Because they got to know who's the live wire. They got to know who is the mountain and who is the valley. They got to know these things, and they can't afford to just guess at it. So when L. Ron Hubbard sent his people in there and they did their job, they got caught eventually, but they went there doing their job. They were on their assignment without fear, without bitterness. They understood their job, and they went to work to get it done. They understood war. They understood war. See, when you see this playing out right in front of your face, Trump took national documents and he took them home. They was at Mar-a-Lago. Then I heard one guy on MSNBC say, well, he could have given this information to the Russians. He could have given this information to the North Koreans. Could have, but he didn't. But they're putting that out as if he actually did these things. Trying to further the rift in America between white and white. Excuse me. Because right now in this battle for the hearts and minds of white folk, to pull those that are quote unquote MAGA back into the politically controlled realm of Republican and Democrats. So they're trying to pull them by saying he's attacking our country. He's committing sedition. He's treasonous. And mind you, I'm not defending Donald Trump. I'm just making it clear of what's going on so that you can see and pick up on it and don't be lulled into the fight thinking you doing something to save America. When these people understand that it is on them, the type of freedoms that they have, just like you got to understand, it's on you, the type of freedom you going to have. Are you going to let somebody impose what they consider to be your freedom on you? This is the freedom that I confer on you. This is the religion that I confer on you. Are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to let them define for you who you are and how you should be? You have over 440 years of living under their definitions of who you are and what your activity should be. Are you going to let them redefine for you again your role, who you are? Or are you going to take charge? Excuse me, family. Or are you going to take charge? Because right now, America is teetering on the brink of destruction. It just takes one act to turn this war into a hot, violent war. It just takes one act. And they were complaining that the MAGA people were saying, you see these Black Hawk helicopters? They're coming for us. And that ain't a lie. They will mow your ass down. Why you think George Bush, when Tiananmen Square happened in China, and that tank ran over that dude? Ain't nobody say nothing. Ain't nobody say, oh, China, we're going to invade you because of that. Don't say nothing. Go and do what you do. See, when I've been reading this book called Alter Ego, and it talks about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton while he was president and she was his Secretary of State. Excuse me, family. His Secretary of State, and then even when she left that to be a senator, to go run for president. Now, Barack Obama did not want any more war using troops. So when Hillary Clinton kept talking about we ought to bomb this and we ought to bomb that and we ought to do this and we ought to, and he was like, I ain't doing that. And the generals were trying to push him in that direction. Obama said, nah, I ain't doing that. I'd rather fight. Excuse me, family. I'd rather fight using drones. That way we're not losing any lives on our end. And so he was more dovish than she. She was more hawkish. She was more predator. What is the nature of America? The nature of America is not a dove. The nature of America is a predator. And it is that predator nature that they want to continue to ride on. But in truth, it's time to kill the predator. Your time is up. Your days have come and they're going. And we got to understand that. They say that they love America. If you love America, why wasn't you true to America? But instead of being true, you plant the seeds of sedition. You plant the seeds of treason. You plant the seeds of anarchy. Because you deprive people of freedom, justice, and equality. And it is law that establishes equality. It is law. They talk about democracy as if it's the end all to be all form of government. Well, what is democracy, really? Rule of the people? Rule of the people. Well, what kind of people? Because when you break it down in its etymology, you come up with democracy. Demon rule. Demon power. Demon rule. Democracy. Demons rule. And this form of government, they push to other nations. And then when the other nation vote in somebody who's for the people of their country that don't go along with demon rule, next thing you know, they wind up dead. When Trump said, when they were like, hey, you know, Putin has been interfering in other countries' elections and having people assassinated, Trump said, like we haven't? We're not choir boys either. So what? They do it, we do it, so what? They want to cover America as if she's sinless. But Trump lives in the reality of, yeah, that's what we did and we'll do it again. Piss me off and see what'll happen to you. See, Trump ain't got no hide card, no shade card. He gonna tell you what he feel straight to your face and don't give a damn about being politically correct. We have to be able to understand that, see it for what it is, and make the proper adjustments. Because they understand, look, we're not as strong as we used to be. So we gotta sin, but we gotta sin quietly. See, that's the same thing that the British Secretary of State, when they had the Mau Mau Revolution, and that is the same thing that Hoover wanted to prevent a real Mau Mau revolution rising up in America from black people. So he said, we gotta kill the black Messiah because they know the role of the Messiah. The role of the Messiah is to kill the enemy, is to do away with injustice and establish the kingdom of God on earth. So when the British were over there fighting this Mau Mau revolution, I mean, they had taken sons and made the sons rape their mama. This is what the British was doing. They had the daughters, the daddies to rape the daughters. They had one man using his thumb on his bending down, crouched down on his legs, walking in a circle, digging a hole. Secretary of State said, he didn't say stop sinning. He said, when we sin, we have to learn to do it more quietly so it doesn't draw the world's attention. We can keep doing what we're doing, and the eyesight of the world will never be able to see what we're doing. Why is that important? Because if you see what they're doing to people that look just like you, They understand the thought is going to come. Why are they doing that to them people over there? Shit, that's the same thing they doing to us. Then what will that produce in the mind? Same. This is the thing that the Vietnamese were telling black soldiers during the Vietnam War. Same. I ain't got no issue with you. Me and you, same. It's him. It's him that you should be fighting, not me. Me and you, same. That's the enemy. Because they wanted you to understand, I ain't got no beef with you. You ain't got no beef with me. Why are you going to fight for him who doesn't respect you, who treats you bad in that country that you were made a slave? And you going to come fight for this enemy against me? Me and you, same. And you see this play out amongst our own people? You don't go carjack and rob white folk. You do it to another victim who's suffering just like you. You rob and you kill another victim and sit back and think it's okay. While the real enemy, who you don't even speak to, who you don't even tell your gripes to, keeps on living, smiling, while you continue suffering. Did you know your suffering was designed? There was an architect to set up systems to deny you your basic God-given rights and to teach you that it was them. It was the cracker that gave you your rights. He gave you free speech. He gave you the right to assemble. He gave you this. He gave you that. He even gave you the right to breathe, which is all a lie. Those are your God-given rights. And don't you ever take and say, the Constitution gave me my rights. No, the Constitution ain't God. The Constitution ain't even a piece of paper that they respect enough to follow. You got your rights from God on high. Period, point blank. In the story. So you don't let them pull you. When I was in Jackson, Tennessee, working down there on the behalf of our people, and as I told you all before, we were building and beating the city on every turn. I was on the city council. I wasn't on the city council, but I was testifying at a hearing. Now, I didn't know the TV was there, but I went off and set it straight. And, you know, everybody, black people were coming from everywhere to shake my hand and tell, you said it, brother. You did it, brother. And we were taking off. Front page of the newspaper. So what did white folks do who had beef with the government? They sent one of their own among us, and she came in. We were having community events. Oh, I'll pay for this. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for this. And everybody thought, well, she's a nice person. She's paying for everything that we need done. But what's the reality? Is the reality really that I'm paying for these things just to be nice? So when they summoned our group to a meeting, because they had issues and they wanted to talk to us about their issues. Now, I wasn't the leader of the organization. I was just the main activist. I was the spark. I was the one who said, okay, look, this is the objective. If this is what y'all want to do, this is how we got to get it done. Right? So this powerful white group called the meeting with our group. And they were like, make sure Muhammad comes. Make sure that he's there. He got to be there now. So I get the information that this group wants to meet with us. I said, okay. So everybody wanted to meet there. So I took my sons. Hell, we're going to go to a mansion. Let me bring my boys. Now, I didn't know what they were going to ask. I didn't know what their need was. I didn't know what they wanted to talk about. So we were the last ones. Everybody else from my group was already there on time. You know, me, I'm going to run a few minutes behind. And so when we got there, everybody was there and they were in the like parlor room. And they gave me and my boys a tour around in the mansion. You know, I was like, yeah, okay. This is pretty nice. It's nice. So we go in. I go into the meeting and sitting in there. And my sons are sitting right outside the door, listening. And they're like, well, you know, we got a problem because the city want to put a homeless shelter out here where we live and we don't want it out here. And they're not really listening to us. So we want Muhammad to represent our issue to them. We want what he did for y'all. We want him to do it for us. So the president of our group said, well, y'all really should join our organization. And he said, we ain't going there. We already sent you somebody from our organization. Immediately my mind goes, you did? And I looked at the rest of the black members and they were puzzled. And he said, yeah, we sent you somebody. Her. And pointed to the white woman. Everybody was shocked. Like, oh, really? So he's like, we already did. We've been there. We sent you somebody. So it ain't about us joining you. It's about Muhammad doing what we need him to get done. So we want y'all to allow him to do the work for us. We want him to do the exact same thing that he did for y'all and stop the building of the parking lot. We want that done for us. And I looked at the president of our group to see what he was going to say. Because I already knew what I was going to say. And he's like, well, you know, we can talk about it some more. And I said, stop. Stop. I ain't doing that. What God gave me is for my people. That's what it's for. Not for you. I can't do that. I won't do that. I got up. I told my sons, I said, let's go. And we walked out of there. Why? See, when the enemy's at war, they know the real soldier is you. They know the real key is you. You have been on their front line at every war. And you gave them a victory. Don't allow them to use you to give them a victory. You sit back, you watch, and when the one who wins come out, they won't be as strong as they were before their fight. So they're at a weakened state. And when they come for us, we will destroy them all. Satan fighting Satan. How can their kingdom last? Don't allow them to use you as their warrior, as their fighter. Plenty of times I had to tell them, no, I ain't doing that. Different organizations. I was helping a sister get her child back from CPS. And she got into the group where it's nothing but white women, majority white women. And she was working amongst them. And so I'm there right there with her, working with her, on her case, and my name began to spread. I spoke at George Washington University in D.C. And this was an all-white crowd. I wasn't even finished. And they were on their feet. Coming up to me. Would you be my advocate? Would you help me? And I say, no. My talents is for my people. And I made that decision. Look at, they would have paid for my services. And when you making that kind of money, and your bread and butter lies with them, you're not going to be as strong. You're not going to be as vocal. So I had to turn it down so that I could be strong for you. So I can use my talents and skills for you. The war is here. They're going at each other. You sit back and watch. Because it's our time now. And we're not going to play with it. We're not going to fiddle-faddle with it. We're going to take what's ours. We're going to take what's ours. So that's why in this series that we're doing, I'm talking about preparing yourself for battle. Because it's coming. There's no running away from it. Ain't no escaping it. It's written. And you got to fulfill it. We got to fulfill it. We are fulfillers. We are fulfillers. Accept your own and be yourself. You kill the nigga in you, I'm going to kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Love you, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Don't let them use you in their fight against each other. Truth has come to you. Love y'all. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.